Terastallization is far from the only way to change a Pokemon's type. All sorts of other moves and abilities can cause type changes as well, so today let's focus on the abilities. Here's a couple really good ones to start things off: Protean and Libero. Every time a Pokemon with these abilities uses a move, they'll change types to match it. So if a Water Dark type with Protean uses Ice Beam, hi Greninja, it'll lose both its types in favor of Ice. This type change occurs before doing the attack. That's incredible because it means Protean and Libero Pokemon get a same type attack bonus on every move. Well, they did get stab on every move, but not in Gen 9. In Gen 6 through 8, Protean and Libero activated on every single move, but in Gen 9 they were nerfed. Now they only change types once per switch-in, usually on the first move you use. The first two Pokemon to get Protean were Kecleon and Greninja. Take a wild guess which one was more impactful. Kecleon, obviously. Thanks in part to Protean, Greninja was banned in Generation 6 singles, and it got sent to Ubers. It wasn't banned in Gen 7, but it was still a good Pokemon in the Standard Tier OU. Cinderace came along in Gen 8, and it also got banned with its signature Libero. These abilities were incredible before the nerf, because not only do they make Pokemon way stronger, but also way less predictable. Since they're constantly changing types, their weaknesses and resistances are always changing as well. And Greninja and Cinderace have wide move pools, so their opponents might not know what type changes are even currently available to them. So when you're picking what move to use against them, you aren't asking yourself what type are they now, you're asking what type are they going to be in 10 seconds. Meowscarada also got Protean in Gen 9, but that was after the nerf, so it's not quite as good. In fact, if you look on Greninja, Cinderace, and Meowscarada Smogon pages, you'll notice that some of their Gen 9 sets don't even use these abilities anymore. They'll often opt for their standard pinch abilities instead: Torrent, Blaze, and Overgrow respectively. Kecleon's other ability is basically the exact opposite of Protean, Color Change. Instead of changing types based on whatever move you're using, Color Change changes its type based on whatever moves it gets hit by. This isn't a great ability though, because you essentially have no control over what type you are at any given time. You're at the mercy of your opponent with Color Change. You're gonna be whatever type they decide, and you just have to deal with it. I remember a while back, Madrybred did a Kecleon solo run in Pokemon Emerald, and Color Change added quite a few wrinkles to the challenge. Since changing types affects what moves get the same type attack bonus, sometimes he'd choose a move, get hit, then Color Change would activate and power up the move he was going to use mid-turn. Of course, it can also power moves down in the same way, so if you have the choice between Color Change and Protean, you should absolutely go for Protean. Color Change makes Kecleon way more volatile, and more reactionary than it needs to be. Next up is Castform's signature ability, Forecast. By default, Castform is a normal type Pokemon, but if the weather changes, Forecast makes it change forms to match said weather, usually. If it's raining, Castform becomes Water type, if it's sunny it'll be Fire type, and if it's hailing it'll be Ice type. I can only assume it also becomes Ice type with the snow, but Castform isn't available in Generation 9 yet. Anyway, our guy learns all the moves it needs to take advantage of all the different weathers too. It learns weak elemental moves at level 10, weather setting moves at level 20, and stronger elemental moves at level 35. It also learns Hurricane and Thunder, which never miss in the rain, as well as Weather Ball, its signature move back in Gen 3. By default, it's a 50 power normal type move, but if Weather is active, it'll double to 100 power and change types. Alongside Rain, Sun, and Hail, Weather Ball can also become a Rock type move during a Sandstorm. But for whatever reason, Castform has no Sandstorm form. It doesn't turn into a Rock or Ground type or anything if sand is up. That's always weirded me out, but oh well. Castform has the move pool to take advantage of its ability, but it's still an atrociously weak Pokemon. Its base stat total is just 420, 70 points in each stat across the board. That's a terrible total, and these stats are strictly worse than Pokemon like Glalie, who has 80 across the board, and 80 is not exactly good either. Setting up weather with a move is also worse than doing so with an ability, because using a move means you have to spend a turn manually activating it. The weather move also takes up one of your 4 move slots, which gives you less flexibility. If you have a weather changing ability, you set it up automatically upon switching in, which is really valuable. That's why Pelipper getting Drizzle was such a big deal, even though 700 Pokemon can learn Rain Dance. Castform's a really cool concept for a Pokemon, but it's not all that strong. Speaking of changing types to match the battlefield, Galarian Stunfisk has its own version of Forecast, Mimicry. If terrain is active on the battlefield, Stunfisk will change its type to match said terrain. Electric terrain makes it Electric type, Misty terrain makes it Fairy type, and so on and so on. By default, Galarian Stunfisk is Ground Steel type, but this ability opens the door to all sorts of other combinations. Mimicry has a unique interaction with Forest Curse and Trick or Treat. In my last video, I talked about moves that can change types. In short, these moves have the Grass and Ghost types of the target respectively, which means it's possible to give a Pokemon a third type. If Stunfisk's types are altered by either of these moves, it'll keep the additional Grass or Ghost type on terrain. So if you give it Forest Curse to make it Ground Steel Grass type, then set up Psychic terrain, it'll become Psychic Grass instead of pure Psychic. And I think that's pretty neat. You can turn it from one dual type to a completely different dual type. There's one thing you might be wondering. What if you use Forest Curse, then activate Grassy Terrain? Would it become Grass type? Well, actually, I don't know. So I hopped into a battle with my guy Dash to see what happens. We tried both orders of operations to see if either one resulted in a Grass type. Dash's job was setting up the type-changing moves, Grassy Terrain and Forest Curse. I brought along an Arcanine with Flamethrower, and I ran the damage calculations beforehand to learn that it's a 2-shot on the standard Grass-type Stunfisk. If we managed to give it 2 Grass types at the same time, then it would be 4 times weak to fire, making Flamethrower a 1-shot. But we couldn't make it happen. If you set up Terrain first, then use Forest Curse, the move simply fails. If you use Forest Curse, then set up Terrain, Stunfisk only takes 2 times damage from Flamethrower. That means the game is only considering one of the 2 Grass types. We both expected that to be the answer, but we tried it anyway, because it was an open question on Bulbapedia. So we tested it so the results could be added to the wiki. So no, it's not currently possible to give a Pokemon 2 instances of the same type. I mean, there is a glitch Pokemon in Gen 1 that's normal type, which makes it 4 times weak to fighting, but like, does that really count? It's not really supposed to exist, you know? Shoutouts to Dash for helping me test this. Show him some love in the comments. Mimicry isn't really a great ability though, because you lose all your original same type attack bonuses, as well as the ground steel typing, which is an all-around good combination. Darmanitan is a pure fire type Pokemon, and its Galarian form is pure ice, but they can change types at half health thanks to their hidden ability Zen Mode. Standard mode Unovan Darmanitan is a physical attacker, but once it drops below half health, it becomes the fire psychic type Zen Mode, which is a bulkier, slower special attacker. Galarian Darmanitan standard mode has the same stats as the Unovan one, but its ice fire Zen Mode is even stronger and faster. Well, sort of. Galarian Darmanitan does more damage with its other ability, Guerrilla Tactics, because it boosts its attack stat by 50%, but only lets it use the first move it selects, so it's basically a built-in choice band. Zen Mode Galarian Darmanitan has a base attack stat of 160, but Guerrilla Tactics Darm has an attack stat equivalent to base 235, so you're better off not picking the type-changing ability in this case. The last 2 abilities for today are Multi-Type and Boneless Multi-Type, RKS system. These abilities let RCS and Soul Valley become any type in the game, depending on what item they're holding. RCS is normal type by default, but if it holds one of the plates, it can change types. The Flame Plate makes it Fire type, the Earth Plate makes it Ground type, and so on and so on. Each plate boosts the power of the corresponding types of moves by 20% as well, and RCS's signature move Judgment will always get stabbed on top of the power boost, because Judgment changes types to match the plate as well. RCS's ability to change types makes it really useful in battle, because you can choose the type that best fits your team, or just go naked and run normal type RCS, demolishing everything with stab extreme speed. Your choice. In Generation 7, Multi-Type also works with the various Z Crystals. Soul Valley's RKS system is similar, but instead of plates or Z Crystals, it has to hold the corresponding memory for the type it wants to be. It also has a signature move to go with it, Multi-Attack. Like Judgment, Multi-Attack matches whatever memory Soul Valley's holding, but in Gen 7 it was only 90 base power. It was buffed to 120 in Gen 8, but Soul Valley still isn't a fantastic Pokemon. Arceus' stats are 120 across the board, making it one of the best Pokemon in the game, whether it's using Multi-Type or not. Staying normal type and just spamming extreme speed is really effective. Soul Valley has 95 in every stat, so it's just strictly worse than Arceus. Every form of Arceus is an Ubers, but most of Soul Valley's forms are so bad they're untiered, the lowest ranking a fully evolved Pokemon can get. It means they're not good enough for any competitive tier. Welp, that's all I got for today. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. I'll see you all in the next one. Good night, fellas. Sleep well.